Hello everyone, my name is BettyTheBosslady, popularly known as Betty the Boss Lady. I am the convener of the program Issues Around Women. Are you wondering why do we have issue around women and not men? Yes, it's issue around women because hardly will you see any woman without having one issue or the other around them. And for this reason, I have decided to bring powerful women and of course men onto this platform where we're going to discuss issues around women. So if you are a woman and you are on this platform, let's take this right together as I bring in on board my first guest for the maiden edition. She's a woman of timber and caliber. She's water size in the weight of gold. She's the one that takes care of people that depends on her with her whole heart. She's a woman that gathered lawyers both in Nigeria and in the whole of Africa, and she takes care of them. Are you wondering who this woman is? Yeah. After this break, we'll come back and she'll come and introduce herself. Welcome back everyone. Don't forget we are still on the program Issues Around Women. Like I mentioned to you earlier, I have right with me in the house our first guest for our maiden edition. She's right here beside me. Let her tell us who she is.
Thank you for having me on this platform.
You're welcome.
I'm Lara Garuba. I'm a trained lawyer and banker and a social entrepreneur. I'm the founder and CEO of the Young Lawyers Mentoring Club.
Wow.
That is an online community for young lawyers where we mentor them to be able to take leadership positions and add value globally. At the community, we know for a fact that one of the bane of Africa is bad leadership.
Yeah.
So what we are doing is to build young lawyers who can take responsibility, take leadership position and change the narrative so that we can achieve the African dream.
Thank you, Lara Garuba. It's a pleasure having you on the platform. Now, my first question is, who is a career woman?
Okay, thank you for that question. A career woman is a professional woman. A professional woman meaning that someone who's not different from a doctor or lawyer or engineer who has gone to school for formal education and is now working at a particular organization and building their life through that organization. So that's basically it. So you have to have a formal education. Then you choose a field that you want to major in.
So from this response, you want me to believe that you cannot be a career woman without having a formal education.
Okay, so before now, that was what it is. You have to have a formal education. So you see parents telling their children, whether you're a lawyer or a doctor. If you are not any of those two, you are nothing. But now, because of technology, the internet, the world is now a global village. So you now see real estate individuals who are career women. You see individuals who are into technology who are career women who do not have formal education but they've gone through vacations, they've learned many things. So those are coming up right now.
Okay, now looking at having a lot of entrepreneurs around, because mostly when you ask some women, what do you do? Let me take it from what you said. You said you are a social entrepreneur. So we have a lot of social entrepreneurs these days. Do you mean that these social entrepreneurs cannot be classified as career women?
Okay, social entrepreneurship is more like, I would say is not the same as, okay, I start a business and I just want to make money. It's more of social impact. So it's kind of 50-50. You make money by the side, but you ensure that whatever you are building is also making community impact wherever the business is or the reach of the business.
Okay, so invariably, it's more of people that have professional things to do that we can classify as career women.
Yes.
Thank you. Furthermore, I would like to ask, why do society at large frown when they hear a woman says, I am a career woman?
I'm laughing because it's I see it as a long time problem. Growing up myself, you hear people say, just go and marry a woman, let her have children, stay at home, wash the plate and cook. So that was the picture that everybody had, and that was the picture that most parents passed over to their children. So the issue of career was like, no, you must be too ambitious to want to be a career woman. What do you need? You have a husband, you have children. That's all a woman should do. And everybody just live with that kind of thinking. And so whenever you go into a place and you introduce yourself as a career woman, everybody just looks at you like strange.
Yeah.
Are you serious? What are you looking for? And all that. So it's been over the years and it's still the same today.
But from your own point of view, how do you see, how can a woman handle this kind of issue? Because from what you said now, it's an issue already. That means being a career woman is not acceptable by most people. What's your view on this?
Okay, so it's going to be a tough fight, but I know that the fight has been on for a long time, and things are looking better. Because right now we have Vice President of the United States of America is a female.
Yes.
We have managing directors of banks and organizations who are women and all that. But for some women who are still in that shadow of you can't be anything, it's a tough call. So they have to be able to manage the expectations around them, not forgetting the fact that they have a passion for what they do and what they want to do.
Yeah.
But they have to manage the expectations, because really, if you are fighting against an individual, it's easy. If both of us are fighting, we can get a third person to say, no, Betty, Lara, you people should calm down. But when you are fighting against a system, you are fighting against a societal issue, it's a bit difficult to do. So what I always encourage is that more women should support themselves. So if I'm a woman now, I have that restriction of I can't do what I want to do. Then I see you doing what you want to do. I'm like, okay, so it's possible. Then you can support me. I can support the next person. And before you know it, our world will be changing.
Thank you, Omolara. So far, I've been able to gather that society at large frowns at a woman being a career woman. And you also mentioned that no one can fight a system, which makes us know that being a career woman, frowning at being a career woman, it has been a system that has been in place, and then making it work may be a bit difficult unless women come together as one.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, right now we are going for a short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about how to maintain healthy work-life balance as a career woman. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We are still on the program, Issues Around Women. And our guest is still here in the house, Mrs. Omolara Garuba. This reminds me There used to be one of my neighbors. I discovered that every time the woman comes back from work, they are always having one quarrel or the other. It got to me one day, I asked the woman. We ran into each other in a grocery store, and she was trying to share her issue with me. So I asked, what is actually the main cause? Why do you always have rancor, fights every time with the husband? And she tried to explain to me that the husband doesn't really want to understand the kind of job she does. This now brought me to asking that, as a career woman, how can you maintain a healthy work-life balance?
That's a tough question. You know why I said it's a tough question?
Yeah.
We just say it all the time, how to maintain work life. You cannot really maintain that life balance.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
But you know, there are some tips that I've learned over the years from my mentors that I use. That so if you use those things, maybe at the end of the day you'll be able to. There are 5 things I just want to share that I use myself. The first thing is that you have to.
Sorry, before you go on,
Yes.
You said maybe,
Yes.
which means they are not cast in stone.
No.
It may work, it may not work.
Yes. The reason I said that is because we have different jobs that requires our attention at different times.
Yes.
So, as a former banker and as a lawyer, I can say these are the things that have worked for me. For somebody that is an engineer that goes on the rig for weeks, day and night, something else might work for them.
Yeah.
And they can pick from this advice as well. So that's why I say maybe it can work for all career women to be able to create a work like that.
Okay.
So the 5 things is like I always use my finger to say, okay, have you done this? So the first thing I would say is play to your strength. Don't be everything to everyone. What is not your strength is not your strength. So just focus on that. That's my number 1. And then my number 2 is prioritize your task. Put your tasks into different buckets, urgent and important. Yeah. There are some things that are urgent but they are not important. There are some things that are important but they are not urgent. So you need to put those things into perspective. Then you pick those things that are urgent and important. Those are the first things you should do. Then the third thing I also do is pick your peak period. Okay, there are some people that their peak period when their energy is high is in the morning. So in that peak period, make sure you do all the tough work first. So when you are now at your lower period, you can now do the other things. Then the fourth one I also use for myself is have a me time. You have been working all day. Some people get to extent that is when they're about to close that they remember they've not eaten. Wow. You have to have a me time within work hours. And then the last one I also do is you have to have a set work time. So the question is you resume work at 8 a.m. you close at 8 p.m. Make sure you close at 8 p.m. Don't close at 11. So that kind of a woman that's been closing at 8 p.m. then you now start closing at 11. Nobody's have a problem with the husband because the man will be asking questions like, what is happening? This is 3 hours late. What happened? So that issue. So if everyone can actually take some of this advice, it will work and people will be able to have a life balance at work.
Oh, thank you so much, Molara. If you are a woman out there, I'm sure you'll be able to take something from these 5 tips that Molara has given to us. It's actually a very good one if we can work with it. And this will help us maintain healthy work-life balance as a career woman. Right now we are going on a short break. Stay tuned. Don't go away. We'll be right back. So, in continuation of our discussion, Omolara, what are the advantages and disadvantages of being a career woman? I want you to spell it out side by side.
Side by side.
Yeah.
Okay. There are many advantages of being a career woman. There are also the disadvantages as well. The number one that I would say is financial independence. Career will give you a source of income. So you don't have to want to buy Maggi in the kitchen, for example, and have to wait for someone to pay for it. That's one good thing about it. The other thing is you develop a lot of skills when you're a career woman because you have access to a lot of people. You're working with teams, you're working with departments, you're working with people from different backgrounds, you're learning how to communicate, interpersonal skills, teamwork. So you develop a lot of skills as a career woman. And then you're empowered. Somebody jokingly said that anointing without money is annoyance.
Yeah.
So you can imagine a woman that doesn't have sort of income is always annoyed.
Of course.
So career gives you that. Then the other aspect that is disadvantage is that most career women always miss out on the life of their children. There are many times that their children have occasions in school they're unable to attend because they have meetings upon meetings. So that's a bit on the low side for some women. And then the other disadvantage I see is that most women lose themselves in their career. So you have worked in a company for 25 years and then maybe there's a meltdown and you are told to go, or maybe it's time to retire, and then you are back at home. You know absolutely nothing that you can do. So the question is, what was happening those days? What happened? So a lot of women just are caught in that middle of, now I don't know what to do with my life. So that's also a disadvantage. The other advantage I see is also leverage. Leveraging in the sense that if you walk into a bank today as an entrepreneur, they will ask you for several documents. At the end of the day, they may not even give you a fund, any fund.
As a woman?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you are an entrepreneur. They will say your cash flow is not this, you don't have regular income, how do we know you are going to pay back? But if you are working in an organization, banks have it in their mind, even though they are not always right, that, oh, you have paid salary, you will get our money back. So they easily give you the funds. So career is also an advantage in that aspect. So that's basically what I see. So there's advantage and there's disadvantage as well.
Okay, taking it from the point of the disadvantages, there's one that actually touched me so much. Is the low part. After working for so many years, to go back home and not having anything to do. Is it supposed to happen that way as a career woman? So what is the whole essence of being a career woman?
Okay, so it's a good question for me because I've gone through that system. When you are in a career path, you are in a structure. So you are already structured. This is the way to behave. You go to work by 8 a.m. You go for strategy meetings. You are structured to work like that. So when you leave a structure to somewhere that is seemingly not structured, you can't find a balance.
Wow.
So what I always advise people, and what I did for over 15 years in the bank, is I had friends everywhere. So bankers were not just my friend, which was good for me. So leaving that sector, I could easily call my friends that, what are we doing? What's the way forward? So it was easy for me to just transit into another kind of life. But people that have done it for years, it takes a lot. Even people that retire and they get bulk money, they are looking at the money like this in their account. They don't know what to do.
So basically, this exact point is a major issue around women.
It is.
Especially career women.
It is.
So I want to say it that it will be a good advice to be a career woman. You should not just forget yourself while doing the job, and at the same time you should ask yourself that after this career, what next?
What next?
Am I right?
Yes.
Wow.
That's a very good question. for every woman to answer while they're in that career. What next?
What next after the career? Wow, that's a good one. And that takes me to the next question. As a woman that men feels that we are not capable, like you said, you've passed the path before, so you know how it is. How can a woman leave a mark in their workplace and that people will really see that, oh, when this person is here, this is what we are able to learn from her as a woman?
Okay, so for a woman to do that, you should be able to. The number one thing I ask for is every woman should know their top. So you don't go for meetings and you cannot speak as intelligently as another man. Know your top. That's number one. Number two is always make sure that you are helpful to other people in your organization. I hear most people say, I don't want a female boss. I don't want. Their wahala is too much. That shouldn't be. So women should also do that. And then show up as and when required. And I also say show up as and when you are not required.
Show up as and when required. At the same time, show up when you are not required. Okay, another thing is, most times as a woman, when we give our ideas, generally, men, I'm sorry I have to be saying this, they believe that no way our ideas cannot work, which is the reason why it's difficult for women to be governor of a state. They believe we can only be good as a vice president, deputy governor, and others. How can we make our opinion or ideas matter in workplace and in society?
Okay, so for a lot of men that behave like that, because I know for a fact that it's not all men that behave like that. For a lot of men that behave like that, most of them it's because of their background.
Really?
Yes, most of them it's because of their background, because they lived in a home where their mother was never allowed to talk or have an opinion. So when they come to the workplace, they expect all women to be like that.
Wow.
Keep quiet, I'm talking, I'm a man. Don't promote her, she's a woman. I'll promote it. So whatever they're doing now in the society is as a result of that conversation. So most men that are like that, I see them as because of some of them are not even aware that that's what is causing it. But the moment they see a woman, they just put off that defense and like, no. When I finish talking, maybe she can say something.
Wow. So that takes us to the fact that most of this problem that some women are having with men at the workplace starts right from the home.
Yes, I believe so.
Wow, that's very interesting. It's been a great pleasure having you around, Mrs. Omolara Garuba. From this point, we have come to the end of this program on our topic today, career woman. I want my guest to say bye to our viewers.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for staying with us.
Thank you so much. We are glad to have you on this first episode.
Thank you, Betty.
To my viewers, as you can see, there are a lot of issues around women. Follow us on our Instagram page, Issues Around Women. Follow us on Facebook. Don't forget to call the number on the screen if you have any question for us or you have any topic you feel you want us to discuss. See you next time. I remain sincerely yours, Betty, the Boss Lady.